Does that make sense to you? That doesn't make sense to me, but what can I do? My account's restricted. This kind of restriction is easily avoidable if you knew that it could happen, and I didn't know that it could happen. So I decided to sneak away from the chaos going in the storefront right now because I wanted to talk to you about something that happened with my eBay account. My eBay account was just suspended. Did I forget to turn the light on? Did forget to turn the light on. No wonder it looks weird in here. There we go. Let's try that again. Hey everyone, I'm taking a break from the chaos of my storefront to talk to you about my eBay store because something bad just happened. My eBay account was suspended. Not gonna keep you guys in suspense because I don't have that long to chat with you, but my eBay account was suspended last night. Restricted, suspended, whichever turn of phrase you wanna use. I can no longer sell anything on eBay or list anything on eBay for the next 72 hours. So if this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, or if you haven't seen any of my videos for a while, I did open up a physical storefront where I sell merchandise to customers, but I do still have my eBay store. Now, granted, I haven't been aggressively listing merchandise over on eBay. I am planning to start soon, and getting suspended from eBay is not exactly how I wanted to start that new venture. So I'm not making this video because I'm at all proud of having my eBay account restricted. Frankly, I'm pretty pissed about it, but I figured that because I didn't even know that my account could get restricted for this, I could help someone else prevent their account from having this exact same unforeseen circumstance happen to them. So now the reason that my account was suspended was for violation of eBay's over-the-counter drug and prescription policy. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that policy, it's basically the rules and regulations that eBay asks its sellers to abide by when selling anything that has an expiration date. You're also not allowed to sell anything that is prescription. As you guys know, I sell a lot of health and beauty merchandise, a lot of items that do have expiration dates. However, I did not realize that my account was susceptible to restriction because of these items. So first I want to tell you exactly why my account was restricted. Then I want to go into what I talked to the eBay rep about on the telephone. And then I want to tell you how you can prevent yourself from getting restricted if you also sell items that happen to have expiration dates. So now my account was actually restricted because eBay had to remove way too many of my listings that were past expiration. Well, now you might be asking me, well, why didn't you remove your listings? If it's past expiration date and you're not allowed to sell that on eBay, why were the listings still up on eBay? Why did eBay have to remove them? No wonder you got suspended. Well, here's why I didn't realize I was doing anything wrong. Because all of my items were out of stock. So if you're unfamiliar with the out of stock option, that basically means that even after you sell an item, your listing remains in your active listings so that you can go back and change the quantity and restock your item. So the problem was I had a lot of listings that were listed with a 2021 expiration date or an early 2022 expiration date. Even though they were out of stock, eBay was still removing them because they were still technically an active listing in my eBay store. So this is not the first time eBay has removed listings for being past expiration. Every once in a while, I would get a notification from eBay that said, we removed your listing for violation of prescription drug policy. And I got in the habit of calling eBay and talking to a representative to find out if that was going to have any sort of negative repercussions on my eBay account. And every time I called, I got the exact same response. I got the response that, you know, it's just past expiration, it's no big deal, we pulled the listing down, you'll only be penalized if you put the listing back up. And I took that to heart. So anytime eBay pulled one of my listings down, I never put it back up. But then recently I started seeing a surge in these messages from eBay that my listings were removed because of violation of drug policy. So I would scroll down and I would see, okay, what listing was just removed? And I was noting to myself that all of these listings that eBay was pulling down was out of stock anyway, so I didn't really think that anything bad was gonna happen to me. But then finally last night, I received a message that yet another listing was removed, And I'm not exactly counting, but that makes like 4 of my listings removed just during March. 4 doesn't sound like a lot in my personal opinion, but apparently eBay thought that it was enough to restrict my account, or in other words, suspend my eBay store. So at first I was kind of confused. I didn't understand why my eBay account was restricted for this reason. So I called eBay to talk to someone from the health and safety team to find out if there was any way to reverse this suspension. And I was really surprised when I got on the phone with eBay because they told me that there was literally nothing that they could do and I was just going to have to wait out my 72-hour restriction. Yeah, I was pretty upset. So I talked to this eBay representative and I explained to him, I'm like, look, these listings were out of stock. They were just active in my eBay store waiting to be restocked. Why is my account suspended? I'm not selling expired merchandise. I'm not violating policy. Why am I being punished? Because I think that's the part that upset me the most. I was literally following policy. Anything that is about to expire or is expiring, I will pull off of eBay. But these listings were out of stock. I couldn't sell the item. It was a 0 quantity. There was no way for me to sell these items. It was completely irrelevant what expiration date was in the listing because they weren't even active for sale. But the eBay representative that I spoke to, and I do want to point out, I do have eBay concierge. So it's kind of like the top tier level of eBay representatives. So it's not like, you know, I just got an eBay rep that didn't know what he was talking about. I was talking to a top tier representative of the health and safety team. And he told me that even though these listings were out of stock, I was still violating policy having active listings with an expired expiration date, even if it wasn't technically available for sale. Makes no sense, I know. So he explained to me that the reason why this is because if someone searches sold items, that my listings will still appear in sold searches, and it's basically looking bad on eBay's behalf, having listings show up in search that are past expiration, even though they were within expiration date when they actually sold. Does that make sense to you? That doesn't make sense to me, but what can I do? My account's restricted. So the eBay rep notified me that for 72 hours, my listings were just basically going to be invisible from search. If people had my items saved in their shopping cart, they could still make purchases. If people had my items saved in their watch list, they could still make purchases. But as far as people searching for items on eBay's platform, they would not be able to see my listings for 72 hours. I'm basically being ghosted by eBay. Like, my listings are invisible. And on top of that, I cannot list anything new for 72 hours. Now, my biggest concern is having some sort of long-term repercussion, right? Because we all know that if you stop showing eBay love for any length of time, your listings start to become lower and lower in search. The eBay algorithm has to know you again. And so my biggest concern is, how long is it going to take me to claw my way out of this eBay restricted hole that they're putting me into? But the eBay representative assured me that after the 72 hours was up, there was no long-term repercussions. My top rated seller plus status was still intact. And after 72 hours, my listings would magically be visible again. So we're going to have to see if that's the case. Because I don't know if I believe it. I know that the eBay algorithm could be very, very fickle, and I can't imagine that having my listings restricted for 72 hours will just have 0 negative effect on my account. I really hope that that's the case. I do believe that my top rated seller status is not going to be affected at all. I really hope that this is just going to be like a 72-hour blanket over my listings, and then the blanket's going to be lifted and everything's going to be fine again. But I'm really disappointed, to say the least, because in my opinion, this is just silly. It's just a silly reason to have your account suspended. So let me tell you what the eBay representative told me to prevent this from happening again. So if you are a seller that sells items with expiration dates, make sure that you do this so that you also don't get your account restricted for this same stupid reason. If you have the out of stock option turned on in your eBay store, even after you sell an item that has an expiration date, make sure to go in and edit that listing to reflect an expiration date that is much, much later. So for example, if I have an item that expires in March of 2022 and it sells, I would just go into my listing and edit it. Keep the 0 quantity because again, it's sold out. And I would change the expiration date to 03 of 2023. So I would basically extend it out a year and just wait to get more items in stock, or wait until the listing itself expires because I didn't replenish any stock. If you're unfamiliar with how the out of stock option works, I do have a video on it. I'll make sure to link it, up here or down in the video description somewhere so you can go watch it. So if they change the policy somewhere and I didn't realize it, I don't know, but the last I heard, it is a 6-month time frame. So if you have a 0 quantity on a listing for 6 months and you never replenish a quantity, you never add anything in there, then the listing automatically ends after 6 months. So if you go and you push the expiration date out for the next year, then if you don't have those items in stock, the listing will end before the next expiration date passes, so you won't have to worry about eBay going in and removing your listings because they're past date. So that's basically my plan from here on out. Usually what I do is I always put the expiration dates in the titles of my items. So at the end of the month, I can just search that date and then I can see all of my listings that have the expiration date. So for, March, I will just search 03/2022. I will have all of my listings right in front of me that have that expiration date. Any listings that still have an active quantity, I just zero out. And then now I will add the process of editing these listings and pushing all of those expiration dates out 12 months so this doesn't happen again. Is it adding more work? Yeah, a little bit. I just wish that eBay would have told us in some way, which in hindsight, I don't know exactly how eBay can communicate that unless they have like a frequently asked questions section for the out of stock option. Maybe add that in there that says, hey, even expiration dates that are passed with your out of stock option can result in account suspension if you don't have an in-date expiration date, even in your out of stock listings. I don't know if eBay can somehow communicate that, but yeah, there was no warning. I mean, anytime I've gotten these emails from eBay notifying me that I've had a listing removed, anytime I've talked to eBay after the fact, they haven't given me any reason to think that this could have happened to my account. They would just say, oh, there's no reason to penalize you unless you put the listing back up after we remove it. So if they pull one of my listings down for this reason, I just don't put the listing back up. I had no idea that suddenly I was going to have my account restricted because out of stock items had expiration dates that had passed. It made no sense to me. And I kept talking to the eBay rep about that. I'm like, this makes 0 sense to me. This makes no sense. It's not available for sale. Why are you restricting my account for having a listing with an expired expiration date? Even though it's not listed for sale, this makes 0 sense. And even the eBay rep, he said it without saying it, but he was kind of like, I know it seems silly, but that's just how the policy works. And, and I understand it's about eBay looking out for eBay. eBay doesn't want to be advertising expired merchandise, even though the item sold during its expiration period. And it's computer systems, it's the eBay system flagging listings. It's basically searching dates and then terminating listings. Everything is automated. I know that it's not, an eBay representative going through and scrolling through and finding these listings. I know that it's all, a computer system, but it was really disappointing that eBay themselves said that there was nothing they could do, that I just had to wait out the restriction. That's a real bummer. So my account is suspended for 3 days. And if you're not exactly sure how the eBay account restrictions and suspensions work, the first time they restrict you for 72 hours. The next time you violate the same policy, you're restricted for 7 days. And then if you violate that policy after the 7-day period, you are permanently terminated from their site. So as long as I don't make the same mistake again, I shouldn't be restricted for, you know, the 7-day period. It's just the 72-hour period. But I guess I learned a lesson, and I'm hoping that in my learning this lesson, you guys can learn this lesson too, because I didn't know. I didn't know that this could happen. And so, you know, maybe I'm learning this lesson because I'm supposed to help other people not make this mistake too, because it really is a really simple way to avoid this kind of restriction. This kind of restriction is easily avoidable if you knew that it could happen, and I didn't know that it could happen. So even if you have the listings out of stock in your eBay store, make sure that all of your expiration dates are not passed, because even if they're out of stock, eBay is going to pull the listings down and possibly penalize you. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and you appreciate me letting you guys know about these kind of situations, remember to hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. Don't forget to check the video description. I always put a lot of useful information in there for you. I also included the video link where I talk about the out of stock option and when it might not benefit you and your eBay store. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you with my next video. Bye-bye.